Welcome back to the Piping Pastor. Today, trying another new tin. Today is going to be Erinmore Flake. So there is a bit of discussion, I guess you could say, about whether or not this is a lakeland. Strictly speaking, no, it is not a lakeland. It is a Virginia Burley mix with a fruit topping. But people have said that it is lakeland-esque. It lacks the floral note that traditional Lakeland toppings have, or traditional Lakeland tobaccos have. And I have never smoked a Lakeland, so this is going to be my first foray into the Lakeland area to see if I can, because I'm not an aromatic person to begin with. I still have half a jar of Eileen's Dream that I bought like 4 years ago, and yeah, I just don't smoke aromatics very often. So will I like this? I don't know. We're going to find out together. But I thought, you know what? I should give Lakelands a try because it is just it's another area of pipe tobacco that a lot of people really enjoy, and it's kind of, I think, in the opinion of many people, it's like you have like your traditional like blends like your Englishes and your vapors and your vapors and things like that. Then you have the aromatics, and the Lakelands seem to be like in a separate class apart on the aromatic side. So for those of us who don't really smoke aromatics to begin with, Lakelands are kind of even further removed than that. And to be honest, the way that they're always described never sounded appealing to me. It's I think John Youngin, 2 a.m. Pipe on the Patio, once described it as smelling like an old lady's purse. The 10 note was smelling like an old lady's purse full of perfume. And so that does not really ring my bell. But again, it's one of those things where I think it's an area of pipe smoking where, you want to give it a go. And to that point, John Youngin also now really enjoys Lakelands. Condor Green, which is a traditional British Lakeland, is one of his favorite tobaccos. He's fond of saying. So he went from hating to loving. So, but rather than jump both feet in to a Lakeland like Erinmore Flake or something like that, because I'm pretty sure we still can't get Condor over here, but I think we can get Erinmore Flake. But rather than jump straight into something like that, I thought, you know what? I will use this as a gateway. And if I find this repulsive, then probably not going to do a Lakeland either. So, but anyway, let's pop this tin and see what we see. All right, so we have, as I said, it is a flake. So get this unwrapped. Super dark. Okay. Well, I mean, definitely a fruit topping there. I can see why people classify this as Lakeland-esque, because I'm getting some floral notes there, but mainly it's apricot. Getting a lot of apricot, and floral notes. It's a very, very moist flake, very moist, very dark. So you get a little bit of that sweet, vinegary, red Virginia in there as well. So I'm going to let one of these flakes dry out for a bit, and then I'll load the pipe up and we'll see what we think. And we are back. So I gave it about 15 minutes of drying time, but even still, even after 15 minutes of air dried time, make sure it's working. It's still really moist, but I was like, you know what, I need to get on with this. So, and I'm smoking this in my my cob. This is a Missouri Meerschaum Mark Twain. Yeah, is that the? Maybe I just associated with Mark Twain for reasons I'll divulge here in a moment. But truth be told, I really do not enjoy corncob pipes. I know Parsimonious loves these. He smokes one every week. But it's my least favorite pipes material. To me, even after you've smoked it several times, it still gives an odd kind of sweetness, no matter what tobacco you're smoking. And that could just be my perception. It could not, just be the my mentally I'm thinking it, so that's what's happening. But to me, it adds a sweetness, like a sickly kind of sweetness. So I only have one corn cob, but and I use it for trying out blends if I'm really not sure, like this one, because this smells like a very pungent aromatic and an odd fruity kind of flavor, and I don't necessarily want to have that as a ghost in one of my Virginia pipes. So I'm going with the corn cob. Now, the reason I have this and the reason I still smoke it on occasion, especially with aromatics, I use this for like Sleepy Hollow when it's time of the year to smoke Sleepy Hollow. Um, is it because I got this from Brother Rob at Hoot and Briar several years ago. He was doing a GAW, and I won, and I got this pipe, and I also got this little book on Mark Twain quotes from him, and that was a book that he was going through for a while and quoting and having conversations and stuff. So I did like a whole series on wit and wisdom, which you can look back on the channel. It's on there, and there's a bunch of videos on there. But I haven't done one of those forever. And when I was thinking about trying this tobacco, I was like, oh, I should put it in the corn cob. And if I'm doing the corn cob, I should break out the Twain book and share a Twain quote for no other reason than just reminiscing about Hootenbrook. Actually, I haven't checked that channel for a while. I don't know, because he had a personal tragedy. His house burned down. He was safe. His wife was safe, but they had to move and rebuild, and they went through a lot of stuff this last year. And he came back on and started doing some new videos from his new place. But I haven't checked that in a while. I need to go back and see where he's at. But anyway, so this is the quote I picked up for today. It is sound judgment to put on a bold face and play your hand for 100 times what it's worth. 49 times out of 50, nobody dares to call, and you roll in the chips. Projecting confidence in the absence of any ability. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can look at that. The one is just the people who just totally bluff. Like, you know what? I'm just faking it, and we'll see what happens, right? But there's the other people who have abilities and have intelligence and have the capacity to do things, to lead, to make changes, but they lack the self-confidence, and so they think that they're faking. That's where imposter syndrome comes from. And it reminded me of a conversation I had with a young woman when I first started my second graduate degree, and we were at the University of Edinburgh, and she's like, I'm totally out of my depth. I feel like I don't belong here. I was like, look around the room. Most of the people here feel the same way you do. They're just better at hiding it. So sometimes it feels like you're faking, like you're bluffing, like you're an imposter, when in reality you have all the skills you need to get things done and to do stuff. You just don't think you do. So in those cases, remember Twain. Just go for the bluff. You'll be rolling the chips. Back to the tobacco. Let's give her a false light and see where we're at. Still very, very moist. I'm getting nothing yet. Definitely could jump with some more drying time. Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare of relights. Yep. As pungent as that 10 note was, it's not really hitting too terribly hard. It's fruity. Definitely apricot. I'm getting a little bit of some other stone fruit too. I think that's from the Virginias. Red stone fruit. There's a little floral notes. I'll bet you those come out more when the tobacco's more dried. And it's not floral like like an Oriental sweet and sour kind of a thing. It's literally like a rose water, like a traditional Turkish delight. It's kind of like sweet rose water. Or if you ever had a salad with microgreens and flower blossoms. I could see where people call this Lakeland-esque because I'm getting some of the floralness. It's almost perfumey. The apricot's almost all the way in the background now. I'm getting no burley from this at all, really. Okay, maybe a little cocoa-ish. A lot of layers there. I have my cold brew coffee here, but I'm afraid that's gonna roll over all these flavors. It's very light. I mean, the floral notes are there, but they're not. And I get where people talk about it being like a soapy, perfumey kind of a flavor, and it always sounded horrible to me. But in this, it's actually not too bad. Well, not too bad. It's like a ringing endorsement. It's livable, but it's a lot of layers there. There's a lot of different floral elements there. The one thing I'm not getting a whole lot of is tobacco flavor. See, I get a little burley, a little redstone fruit from the red Virginias, but I mean the topping's definitely in charge. I guess this means I probably could try a Lakeland, but I'll be honest with you, I just don't think I would like it. Oh yeah, I think this is tolerable. I mean, I can keep this and smoke it. I think drying it out may help, and I think every once in a while, on a special occasion, that where I'm feeling froggy, or maybe in a situation where I'm concerned about room note, maybe I would break this out. But otherwise, I don't see this. I mean, I would rate this as smokable, but not anything I would purchase again. So it's not something I have to give away. I don't. There's nothing you can blend this with. I mean, you couldn't like. I mean, I've got some bulk stuff there, some Balkan stuff, and other things that I sometimes use to help other tobaccos out. I've got some old dark fires in there I used before with Indaba. I had to use the old dark fire to mix with the Indaba. Um, But I mean, even the aromatics that I have, the Sleepy Hollow or the um, Eileen's Dream, not going to work with this because this is floral and fruity. I think maybe the only thing tobacco wise you might get away with mixing with this is maybe Three Nuns because it has a citrus topping. That might be okay with this, and because Three Nuns has a much stronger Virginia flavor, and the topping doesn't drive the bus, that might help us out a little bit. But I also don't want to waste my Three Nuns to make a moderate tobacco taste better. So, well, anyway, so there we are. So if you've never tried it and you're interested in Lakelands as well, this might be a good entry for you. And if you love this stuff, then yeah, you can go ahead and get the real deal. And then if you're kind of like me, where you're like maybe not so much, then you can put the brakes on. So that is it for me. I'm going to finish off this pipe and see if the drying time does anything better on a second pipe later on. And if so, I will report next time on tape. But as always, have a great week. Happy reading.